to take 5. And it's been a few weeks between vacations and, in some ways, writer's block. I stopped doing it for a few weeks, and now we're ready to start Take 5 again, where we take about 5 minutes and look at life and look at the scriptures and Christ, and maybe find some meaning and relevance for our everyday life, both in our behavior and even in our meaning of life and worship as well. So we're going to start a really unique series. I hope you like it. I'm calling it Speaking Words of Wisdom. Now, before you think I'm going to be in the book of Proverbs, you might want to think, where else have I heard that phrase? Speaking words of wisdom. Well, here's the subtitle of the series. The Beatles, the Bible, and You. What? Yeah, stay with me. I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, if you didn't know that. One of my earliest memories as a kid, I was a wee young little boy, was watching the Beatles on Ed Sullivan when they came to America and just turned the country upside down. And ever since that day, in a sense, I've been hooked on the Beatles, on their lyrics. And as a teenager, I learned how to play the guitar. I was in a rock band. I didn't want to just copy the Beatles. I wanted to be the Beatles. I mean, that's how much of an influence. And so today, I still listen to the Beatles quite often. I have every one of their CDs, their records, on my radio in my car. I listen to the Beatles station a lot. I know their lyrics. Probably I know verbatim the lyrics of every one of their songs. If I knew the scriptures as much verbatim as I know Beatle lyrics, I'd probably be a godly man. So here's the idea. This series, The Beatles, the Bible, and You, Speaking Words of Wisdom. We are going to take the Beatles lyrics and their themes and try to build a bridge to biblical ideas, biblical truth, to Christ following, and even to the general human experience, spiritual experience we all have. Now, I'm not making any case that somehow the Beatles were all secretly Christian. No, not at all. They were very spiritually minded at times, and yet maybe to be culturally sound, I just want to build a bridge to what their music and what they said to maybe some of the truths that we can find in life today. I think it'll be interesting. Stick with me. So maybe just a little bit of a background. They all grew up in England, of course, as maybe you know. They're from Liverpool, a pretty big city up north in England, a coastal city. And they all, because they were all born in the 40s, grew up with a Christian heritage. Can I say that? In England in the earlier 20th century. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, two of the Beatles, were both baptized Roman Catholic. Ringo Starr and John Lennon were both baptized Anglican. And like many British people in the 20th century, they grew rather agnostic, even though they had a bit of a Christian basis or heritage. John Lennon then, of course, would go on. He was sort of the sardonic one. He even made that statement to a journalist, look at this, we are more popular than Jesus. Then he retracted his statement a little bit, basically saying he wasn't saying anything about Jesus. He was more saying about their popularity and how kids are running after them instead of running after religion. Supposedly, Lennon later on in life was having conversations with Oral Roberts, the evangelist from Oklahoma, about what it means to follow Christ. I don't know if anything ever came of that. All kinds of rumors, but who knows? They did, perhaps you know this, dabble into Hinduism and transcendental meditation. They went to India, they did TM. It stuck with George Harrison, and so for the rest of his life, he was a Hindu rock star. So many of his later albums would have a lot of music, almost like if you listen to Christian rock music, he did Hindu rock music. That was Harrison. Well, all that said, so do they have a spiritual heritage? Yes, a little bit. Well, all that said, we're going to use the Beatles songs, their lyrics and their themes, to bridge to Christ and to bridge to our lives and to our soul. We'll take the scriptures, but we'll start with the Beatles and we'll move them to biblical themes. And I think we'll come up with some good stuff. Hang with me. So who knows? Maybe as we do this, we can come together and find some help as we listen to some words of wisdom. How's that? So, starting now, speaking words of wisdom. I'll see you next time. The first song, just so you know, the first song we're going to look at is a Beatles song called Eleanor Rigby. We'll do that next time. I'll see you on Take 5.